Good evening and welcome to WGLNA Season 2, Week number 2, Day number 2. You were looking forward to this day because it's all twos. I am Joshua Clutch Gray, joined by the set by Andre Gritorp Hengshua. Tonight it's just the two of us because unfortunately Randall Rukil Holcomb is under the weather. We wish him a speedy recovery to get better because he's always wanted and needed here on the set.
The guy was such a trooper yesterday. He was even sick yesterday, and he said, well, I still bowled through it. Thank you so much, Rukil. Of course, it's not going to be the same without you, but we will manage.
We will manage indeed, and we're going to have some fun tonight because we have lots of great matches in store. 5 matches to be exact. But let's go ahead and take a look at what happened last night for the results of those matches. Simple Tankers took out War and Peace. Wreak Havoc defeated No Limit. Simp took out River of Blood. Cunningham's destroyed Pub Stars. And Bernal Empires achieved their first victory against Cap Fast Nation. I think we only had one draw that entire night. Not of the series itself, but of an actual battle. One map, we had one draw.
Really? Who was that?
I
thought it was all 3 zeros. I thought it was all 3 zeros and just a single 3-1 for Cap Fast Nation against, you know, it might be Cap Fast Nation versus
Bernal Empires. Yeah, I do remember one draw that had happened. Yes, Bernal Empires won.
Right?
Yes, it was on Abbey.
You're right.
It's all coming back to us. But, you know, being on set, seeing so many different maps, matches, tank styles, choices, it's a lot to really comprehend. That's why we take copious notes, which you can see here on the desk. But we also have a lot of highlights that our editors like to put together, and that's the backtrack. Let's go ahead and see some of the biggest plays that happened yesterday.
Dare is now going to be focused down as Warplanes is right behind Pat Real 2000. Going to be able to take him out. Oh my god, I was going to say in one shot, but no. Nope. 9 hit points left.
And Spirit AW from the south flank moves in. No damage done against his tank, and he is going to unload at least his last clip. No, he's going to be on the run reloading against Mournblade now. Mournblade in the Pershing does have a bit of an advantage since the reload time on Spirit AW shot here. 522 against 592. But the rest of the blue team is, and Pub Whisperer. Mournblade trying to hold the line against his 1390. One more shot. Mournblade could do it against Spirit AW. He tries to go for the crash. He does.
Wow.
2 HP left. One more hit. He will go down, and he gets the kill. Mournblade holds the line.
But I actually like this. He's pulling all the 1390s away, and he has this trigger saying, okay, well, if you go to turn to that fight, I'm going to immediately start targeting and unloading on you. And if not, well,
look at this.
I'm making
he's stopped. Invade is charging. Now, he's going to disappear for a second. This is the thing with replays. He finishes off Invade. Fantastic.
Oh
and he
my god!
Oh. And a track shot on Khalees, who immediately repairs it, by the way.
Yeah, but still, like, that's some incredible driving right there. And both of them are clipping at this point, I believe.
Yep, and that's the point where Static can just leave.
Oh,
he can just straight up leave.
Goodness.
Wait, his opponent's from Countess, but Countess is going to get hit from the side here from Rella as Rella tries to approach. He does. He's in the 416. Countess backs up. He misses.
Countess is going to fall.
Is stuck.
Wait, this ensures a draw if Rella doesn't jump on him right now. Rella has to jump on Countess if they have any hope of trying to win this. Otherwise, it's just going to go to a draw because the only take that could possibly get the shot would be... Actually, wait, could...
Oh, Rella's trying to line it up here. He's trying to line up the hit, trying to line up the Goomba. He's not going to be able to get the shot, though. He has enough HP to just hit him down.
This is awkward.
It's going to be sacrificial.
Maybe he can bait out a shot out of Countess.
He might try to get the break. Nope, nope, on top. Oh,
oh my god!
Oh, man.
Oh, god.
Oh, my, in 17 seconds, Cunningham is able to get the battle victory.
No way! What are you talking about?
Oh, my god!
Oh, man, we had a good time yesterday. Cliff is proving to be my favorite map of Season 2 so far. Miserable had some comments on the Skype chat for the league. He said, yeah, you know, when you fail that hard, you pretty much blow it for the rest of the series. So Cunningham's able to take that victory. We're going to have the sounds of the game here on a couple days as we did record the TeamSpeak for both teams when that was happening. So stay tuned for that. We're going to jump into today's matches that we have lined up for tonight. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of memories as well formed from these 5 matches. River of Blood versus Nerve, Simplistic versus War and Peace, Fulcrum Gaming versus Cunningham's, Simp versus Hammer Time, and Cat Fast Nation versus Game Over. Cat Fast Nation still does not have a single win so far, so another loss tonight could mean that they will be at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, they have a lot a lot to work to, because today is pretty much the decider whether or not they're able to really contend in the playoffs, or they're probably going to be relegated out of the league if they don't get a win here. It's really, really important for today.
After tonight, we're halfway through group play, if you can believe it. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
Time flies.
It does. It does fly when you're having fun. I'm going to throw it over to Greetorp, though, to give us the details of the 7x42 rules and the shootout rules.
Sorry, guys. We are playing 7x42 today. What that basically means is that there's 7 players per team, 42 points, and each tank has a tier. Of course, normally we have 5 tier 8s and 2 tier 1s. There is no 8-point rule. That means you have to kill your opponents or cap out their bases in order to win the match. If we don't have a deciding winner by a best of 5, we go to a shootout. Shootout is we go to Malinovka. We basically set up each of the team's tanks in 7x42 format, and they just go at it as soon as the admin says, let's do it. That will be kind of the arbitrator to see who will win in the overall series. Of course, they only get 1 point if you win for that, 0 points for a loss, and for a regular win, it will be 3 points. Also, while I'm here, why don't we talk about the standings for the whole league, as a lot of the matches for the Alpha and Bravo division have been played, and we will see who is on top of Bracket A.
Yeah, and that's Cunningham's with 9 league points and 3 wins. Next up is Wreak Havoc, 2 wins and 2 losses for 6 league points. Game Over at 4, and Pubstars at 4. And as Greetorp did mention, the shootout only brings 1 point for that victory. No Limit has 4 points. Fulcrum Gaming, now below No Limit's going to have to get a serious victory tonight to get 6 league points total. They have 3 right now. Bernal Empire's at 3. Cat Fascination, as I mentioned before, at the bottom.
Taking a look at the Bravo division, we have Simple Tankers on top with 3 wins and 1 loss, just about halfway through the season, as you were saying. Simp right behind that with 7 league points. Now, they only have 3 matches played so far, so a lot can happen. Hammer Time undefeated as well, 2-0. They're looking really strong. Casadores right behind them, 1-1 in 4th place. Let's take a look at the bottom half. Nerve, Simplistic, River of Blood, and War and Peace are rounding out the bottom half. River of Blood, and War and Peace will have to find something here today to really get out of that bottom group, because we've seen River of Blood before make it to the top 8 of last season. Will they be able to do it again this season? It's going to be really rough.
It is going to be really rough, and as we've mentioned multiple times tonight, this is a huge decider because we are going to be halfway through league play, so every win in any battle, in any match, is going to count. But now we're going to start to see the story laid out, the foundation really of who's going to make it to Vegas, November 16th and 17th. Of course, for more information, you want to go to www.wglna.com and to follow us on Twitter at WGLNA and Facebook.com/WGLNA. You can follow us on Twitter as well, since we love to tweet on information about World of Tanks and Wargaming and the WGLNA. I'm Clutch08 and Greetorp. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back. Match number 1 will be ready to go. River of Blood versus Nerve. Stay tuned. You're watching WGLNA. Welcome back to WGLNA. We have the face-off ready to go between River of Blood and Nerve. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to week number 2, day number 2.
How's it going?
Hey, hey.
All right, River of Blood, Cam, we're going to start with you. Now, we have seen you in the past be behind with wins and then come back and make it to Vegas. We've also seen you develop and evolve from a very aggressive team at the beginning to a more well-rounded team. How are you going to use that evolution and to use that experience to win tonight?
Well, you know, we pretty much come down to where this used to be pool play, and now it's a single elimination tournament for us. You know, we have to win every single one. That's the plan. So we're just going to try to pounce on our opportunities a little more decisively, and just, you know, kind of work out some kinks we've had in the last ones. And we've had a lot of weird stuff happen. You know, I mean, can't make excuses for everything, but we hit a guy's gun barrel. We lost to Adrenaline Rush one time, it seemed like. You know, we just had all these weird things happen. They're like, oh, come on, you know. So I think if we can just be a little more decisive on, you know, winning maybe the main battle by a little more, all those little random factors won't affect us as much. And, you know, we're just going to try to shore that up.
You mentioned being more decisive. Where do those decisions start? Do they start with the map choice? Do they start with the spawn position? Do they start with tank selection? What do you value most in your strategy for your team before the battle even starts when it comes to what you can pick?
I refer mainly to when to pounce. I mean, the difference of like last week on Cliff, I remember Rookill's like if they just gone over 30 seconds sooner, which actually kind of was my plan to start with. It's you gotta attack at the right time. I mean, when Simp counterattacked us and beat us on Ensk, they made the perfect move to get 3 of our tanks while some of ours were coming around, and you know, just those few seconds of getting more guns on less guns made such a huge difference. So just knowing when to pounce and doing it at the right time is just so huge, and that's what we mainly want to work on and be better at.
Hornsby from Nerve, you had a win against War and Peace, but 2 losses against Simple Tankers and Simplistic. Now you're up against River of Blood. What would a win for tonight mean for you and your team?
I think it puts us back on track to getting that much closer towards Vegas, and I think it's something we definitely really need. We definitely felt great after the first win, and unfortunately we, like on steps at the very end, you know, it was the last few seconds, they had a tier 1 left. We still had 4 tier 8s. I mean, that's a rough one to draw out in the end without the tier 8 point rule anymore in effect. So we're doing some new things, made a few more changes, and luckily we picked up a 10th player to fill up a last slot on our team that we had a little mix-up early on in the group stages. And so we're pretty solid and happy to be moving forward and hopefully do well here against River of Blood.
Can you comment on the type of sacrifice your team makes and maybe all the teams in general to be here on your matches? I mean, has it been difficult to regulate 10 players together or 7 players to be here for your matches, or is everyone really gung-ho to participate in the league?
Everyone definitely really wants to participate, but you definitely have issues of having all 10 of these people on at the same time, having them all available, which is the nicest thing you can do instead of just maybe training with, you know, just 7 or 8 of the standard guys who are on all the time or anything else. You want to have the 10 available so those 10 can always be moving forward on with the team and be put in any place necessary.
All right. Well, Nerve, do you have any words for River of Blood, Captain Blood, before we start the match?
I'm excited to be playing you guys. This should be fun.
River of Blood, your response.
Yeah, I hope it should be fun, but I'll close with an old Vegas saying. Remember, you can't stack too many cups on someone's head. You can't stack too many cups on someone's head.
Shit.
All right. River of Blood, you have the higher seed. You get to call the coin, heads or tails.
Tails.
Tails. Let's flip the coin. It is heads, which mean Hornsby. Do you choose the map for Nerve or do you defer?
We will defer.
River of Blood, the map choice is yours.
Cliff.
They're going to go on Cliff. And Nerve, what will be your spawning location?
We will take south.
South side on Cliff for Nerve. River of Blood will take the north side. Gentlemen, best of luck and have fun.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
And in the top side, we have the red team. That will be River of Blood. And to the south side in the blue will be Nerve. And what do we have for tanks?
3 Pershings and 2 1390s against 3 T69s and 2 1390s. So who will win the 1390 or not the 1390s? The Pershing or the T69? I feel like the T69 will not be able to play against the Pershings all that well. The Pershings have a surprising amount of good armor on their hull and their turret.
Oh, it's a good amount of armor because it's an American-made tank. And they have good armor. But if you are aiming against an American-made tank, you don't want to aim for the front turret because that's where the majority of its armor is. Ratzilla on the 1390 is spotted. And the rest of the red team, River of Blood, dodges one of the shots there. Captain Blood tries to return fire on the other side. He does get a land against Ratzilla. Ratzilla at 814 will pull back as Savagey and the rest of River of Blood will move into that position as Explosive Brutality takes another hit, 589 of 1100, and they are losing that ground. But River of Blood's going to have to be careful because coming into their right flank, or excuse me, to their left flank, the west approach will be all of Nerve.
Such a smart play, but they have to be so careful. They need to duck behind cover because these Pershings will start getting shots on the T69s and the 1390s. It looks like the 2 1390s will go into the chasms while the Pershings are trying to chase Captain Blood down to 1 shot away, and he will duck behind cover. You need to be careful because Ratzilla and the other 1390 are right around the corner.
Doc Golem and Savagey are now engaged against Jen Scott, Psycho Killa, and Haywood. Doc Golem trying to get the shot on the Pershing. 25 HP left for Jen Scott, and that's a big kill for Doc Golem. Savagey and his T69 is going to have a full clip to unload on these 2 Pershings coming around the way, but Doc Golem will not be able to hold out much longer. 64 HP left on his tank. Captain Blood still on the run from Ratzilla. Ratzilla misses another shot. Savagey with full HP and also a couple rounds in his clip tries to get the kill against Haywood, but Captain Blood is taken out. Savagey is on his own, but Canada Duck and Dopper are now moving in to get some more shots on the rear parts of the Pershings.
Dopper should play a big role here, as Savagey is clipping. That's why he's not firing right now. He will reload momentarily. The Pershings just take a long time. They don't have that burst, so if they can kill down Psycho Killer really fast here, which this is going to approach very soon, Canada Duck is going to eliminate Haywood right here.
And Dopper has a couple more shots left on Haywood. He's trying to clean it up. Hornsby has the battle against the T1s. Haywood trying to get away, but no, he gets decimated, and now the rest of River of Blood are going to be on the run to get over to the T1 locations.
That's right, 54 seconds left. Lieutenant Carter is making his way over, but I don't think there's going to be enough time. Dopper, in his 1390, will be able to traverse the distance necessary, and this is going to be critical. Lieutenant Carter will probably go down, so we have a River of Blood victory over here for battle number 1.
We do, and this is a much-needed victory for River of Blood. It's only battle 1, which means it's still anybody's game, but like Captain Blood said, they're playing this like a single elimination tournament. They are unleashing everything they can as a team, and rightfully so, because if they don't get a win tonight, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to have a spot in Vegas. One T1 left alive. Lieutenant Carter is spotted, tries to fire some shots back, but Savagey gets the final hit, and River of Blood will take battle number 1 on Cliff.
Some outstanding play, and we can see the pounce from River of Blood come into play over here. The 1390s were going to the west side, but they saw the Pershings and said, nope, don't want, let us isolate the two 1390s. They're able to do some good crossfires, kill one of the 1390s, Executus died, and Captain Blood was still able to get away. Even though he only did one more shot, it helped so much because... All right, talking about tanks real quick, we have two 5100s and two IS-3s and a single Pershing for Nerve. Another IS-3 is chosen for River of Blood. Normally we talk about that fifth tank. The standard is two 5100s, two IS-3s. What do you bring? Right now Nerve has a view range advantage and River of Blood has the alpha advantage with that IS-3.
That's right, Canada Duck leading the charge here on the south side. Red team River of Blood to the south, to the north. Nerve in the blue. And it looks like we're going to see some hill play from River of Blood. Now the 5100s could lead the charge because they're a little bit lighter than the IS-3s. But the IS-3s are going to be the ones that want to poke up first because of the Shuka, the pike nose to the front, as we detail multiple times in our segments, in the garage segment, and also we'll have a couple more segments that will be released in Season 2, which I'm sure you'll all enjoy. But to detail the type of tanks and also the engineering of these tanks and how well the tanks brings us to the battlefield really is exciting because you learn so much about history of technological innovation and why they designed the tank this way, why armor slopes are so important on tanks. I learned so much playing this game. It really is a great thing.
And check this out. The Pershing is the one that will be going to the hill, and only the Pershing. This makes so much sense because, as we were talking about, who has the advantage in view range?
It's Pershing, 400 meters.
Pershing. That's right. So whatever tank comes up here, the Pershing will be able to spot first, put a fire out, and just duck behind cover before any reactions can be available.
Last night we saw Zone Delta and a T-69 hold the line, and the rest of his tanks were trying to determine if it was worth going up the hill. He did see one tank, and then once he did pull in, a lot of shots were fired against him. A couple missed, and the rest of his team was able to try to clear the rest of hill. And quite a huge firefight that had happened last night. So more of this hill play we're seeing, which is the opposite of the end of Season 1.
Okay, so no one was spotted. Was Haywood spotted on your side?
No one is spotted.
Okay, well, what happened was the Pershing just said, oh, nobody's here, let's go back. And he just turned around. And little does he know, the rest of the team is about to approach down this hill and surprise every single one of these tanks because, hey, they have the turrets pointing the wrong way.
That's right. LT Carter, Lieutenant Carter, is spotted briefly by Savagey in the IS-3, but Savagey himself was not spotted. He did have the higher ground. So, according to the information that you probably have, Greetorp, they don't know yet that they're coming from the hill.
Yeah. I'm surprised Laps hasn't moved up from this. Normally when you're doing this type of push, you want your T1 all the way on the west side to just see how fast you should be pushing in on this. If you see any west side pushes, you have to be a lot more decisive to get your tanks in to the right position. Right now, neither of these teams know where each other are, but River of Blood taking phenomenal position so early in this game.
Yep, setting up that dual push into the flag cap area, trying to lock down any avenues of approach that could happen from the tank alley. I would want them to send in GQ to clean up Lieutenant Carter, to not try to scout anything else here. GQ did take a little bit of damage from that T1, but Doc Golem and Captain Blood are going to push in to the secondary layer.
Captain Blood is spotted out over here. Everybody's going to start turning around. The problem is the 5100s are in the front right now. You need to get those IS-3s to lead the charge, and Psycho Killa initially going to take a lot of damage.
Yep, shots being fired right into that frontal assault coming from River of Blood, but the two IS-3s are towards the center of the flag capture area, but more towards the south center side. Now, Canada Duck did take a lot of hits here, 403 HP out of 1400. Savagey in the front and his IS-3. All they have to do is wait for Nerve to make the move into their area. The IS-3s do not have to push out, but Lieutenant Carter smartly in his T1 trying to get some proximity scouting. And they do see the other the other IS-3s briefly at least, but they at least saw Doppler.
And here we go, Psycho Killa moving on in. I don't like this approach, though. He's going to take a lot of damage in the very early game. And I almost feel like he's going to get torn apart. He's not going to be able to use all of his shells. And Explosive Brutality right behind him. I don't agree with this.
There is a shot fire, but it's a bounce off the IS-3. 5 seconds left on the clock. Now here comes the stream in of all these tanks. They still try to do another reset, but another 5 seconds left. But there's a double reset now, down to 23. But a shot has been fired against Laps. He is down. Doppler takes some hits against his side. The IS-3s in this double angle attack here, trying to unload more damage, but they get cleaned up. Jen Scott, his IS-3, has maybe one more shot. He will go down. Doppler maybe clipping soon, but Captain Blood trying to hold the line as Doppler is going to move back and forth in the AMX 5100. Trading targets, though. Nope, staying on one target. It decides to take out Ratzilla and not focus on Haywood in the Pershing. 22 seconds left as 3 tanks are trying to capture here.
Are they going to try to isolate or just stay on cap? It looks like they will go for the isolation. Haywood will be ganged up by Captain Blood and Savagey, and this isn't going to end well for the Pershing. On the other side, though, Explosive Brutality, and there is a T1 fight. I'm sorry, Hornsby will go down. Oh my goodness. And with that, that means all aggressive options will be up for the red team, River of Blood.
Yep, well, they're going to have to clean up Haywood here and then get on that flag cap as fast as possible. They're going to decide whether to cap faster or to go for the kill. And right now, they are closest to the cap, and they need to go for that capture as fast as possible. But Explosive Brutality cleans up Doppler, and that 5100 can still do a lot of damage. GQ decides to go to the north, and that 5100 could keep on the resets as 2 tanks now are on the flag capture. Captain Blood and Savagey in the IS-3s.
It's going to be so hard, though. He needs to take out Captain Blood. He can do it in one shot if he's really lucky over here. We're going to find out as he sets up the shot, but a lot of alpha damage. Now Explosive Brutality. He needs to push out a little bit farther so he can get the right shots, but he's not. Now he finally backs up. He probably had... no, he didn't have one more shot. No, he might have had one more shot there, but again, he will have to poke out, and this is a bad time to do that because it doesn't matter if he clips out right here. There's going to be enough time for River of Blood to cap things out. So that's why he needs to kill Captain Blood in order for him to stay in this. One shot, one kill. That's how it is for Explosive Brutality and for Captain Blood.
2 seconds, 1 second left, and blue base is captured, meaning River of Blood takes battle number 2 on Himmelsdorf. Great play up to the hill, decisively moving in and not chasing the enemy, not poking out too far, letting them come to them. And yes, a lot of resets happen, but they were able to get the victory.
Almost a mirror matchup for these two teams. 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s for each of them, but an L tractor being chosen for Nerve instead of the 2 T1 Cunninghams. River of Blood has those. Spawning to the north side is Nerve, and in the south we have River of Blood.
And the River of Blood deciding to go up the 1-2-3 line right now past the Gamma Quadrant. And Canada Duck's going to hold down the rear of this push. Captain Blood will take the frontal side. He'll be the point man in the IS-3, and this is the type of aggression River of Blood is known for. Now again, they could just try to halt Nerve and go for a reset later on if they do engage in a no man's land kind of tank battle, but nope, that's not going to be the case because they have found Psycho Killa, and is Psycho Killer alone? No, he's not, but he does take a shot. 987. Captain Blood gets a hit against his IS-3.
Oh, man. And Psycho Killer wasn't loaded. That's why he didn't return fire. It was still 40 seconds into the map. So you can see the big advantage of doing this one-line push and catching a 5100 out of position.
Now the 5100 is trying to get some shots around the corner. Canada Duck has not taken any fire yet, but the other IS-3s and 5100s are waiting for them to pop out. They're in a good spread right here. River Blood's going to have to be cautious and careful, not overcommit, but Captain Blood takes a blow to the left, and here comes the sweep out from the two IS-3s. However, the 5100 Psycho Killer staying to the back, and Dopper in the retreat goes back, but Captain Blood is going to focus on the 5100. Great move by River of Blood to shut down that damage dealer, and Captain Blood is bouncing a lot of shots in his IS-3. Savage, he tries to come in for the revenge kill on Haywood, and he is. No, Captain Blood gets that kill, and Doc Golem cleans up Jen Scott. Ratzil in the IS-3 still left alive here, but the shots coming around from the other corner, so they're still trying to locate that. The red team, River of Blood, only has 2 tanks left to kill that can do any damage,
wow.
And that's Ratzilla versus Explosive Brutality.
Explosive Brutality actually track shot Doc Golem. Now Ratzilla getting in the way. I think Explosive Brutality right now is clipping, so he needs to get out of there as fast as possible. Wow, so fast, and Captain Blood at 12 hit points will be able to get the finishing blow on Ratzilla, who was, I thought, for the most part, in a good position, but it was just too much damage. Now Captain Blood trying to do damage. Explosive Brutality taking 2 shots, and he's down to 248 hit points. This, my friend, is going to be a 3-0 sweep by River of Blood. Explosive Brutality can do it, but he needs to reload, and he can't do it in time. Doc Golem will get the finishing blow. River of Blood take the battle number 3. 3-0.
I am sure they are incredibly happy right now because this was a make it or break it. The last battle really showed, hey, you know what? We're going to go to our roots as a team, and we're going to play aggressive. And I really liked how they held the line as Nerve was trying to reconfigure what they were going to do. And those 5100s, Captain Blood focused on to get shut down in his IS-3.
Yes.
A couple glancing blows against him. They were trying to, it was a lot of turret breaking, really. The turrets kept trying to move back and forth who they should hit. But once that 5100 got locked down, the rest was a little bit easier for River of Blood.
Oh, yeah. Let's look at my screen real quick. We can see Psycho Killer in his 5100. He was the one that took the initial damage in the beginning stages. Look at how many shots he did. Only 3, and that's the problem. Once you get a lot of shots on you in the very beginning stages and you are not loaded, well, all of a sudden, you are prioritized so fast. Only getting out 3 shots in a 5100, that's a big problem. Explosive Brutality was able to get all 6 shots out, but only connected 3 times. That's a really unfortunate thing. And he was cleanup, which is understandable since the 5100 is the lowest average damaging tank. But, you know, normally you don't want them cleaning up a lot of these shots. It's a little bit difficult to really call. That's why I like that extra tank, whether it be the Pershing or the T-69, some other tank to get those cleanup shots, because I really feel like the 5100 shots should not be doing cleanup work.
No, because they need to do a lot of the strikes with the IS-3s and then get out of there.
Yeah. The burst damage, that's the most important. That's their best part of them. So if they're actually doing cleanup, it makes a little bit of sense, but I think it's suboptimal.
Yes, and anything is suboptimal when you're caught off guard, and when you can target fire the enemy and get those tanks killed initially. Again, Captain Blood at 12 hit points. They kept trying to focus him as well, and he would stay on the run and kept moving around and set up that second approach.
And he got the adrenaline rush this time.
But it is. A lot of things went in favor to River of Blood. You know, Nerve still in the running. They're now 1-3. And I look forward to see what they bring to the table now after this loss, because this could really set a fire underneath them to make some changes and perform better. Because as we've said, and we're going to say throughout the night tonight, we're going to be halfway through at the end of tonight, and we're going to know pretty much pretty good ground floor, a layout really of who's going to make it to Vegas.
Talking about fire too, it's already been set for River of Blood as they get their first win of the whole group stages. And I feel like this is going to be their comeback time. This is when they really start to shine, and we are going to see them in playoffs at the very, very least.
Yep, they already have Simple Tankers and Simp out of the way in their brackets, so maybe some of the other teams are going to feel more confident against.
Sorry.
We're going to find out as more of the matches develop, but that was only match number 1 tonight. We have 4 more matches left, so stay tuned. You're watching WGLNA.